Hey, RetconRaider here, with special thanks to the Raiders, the fine folks who help make these videos possible, including but not limited to Dragon Matrix 7, Mathew Smith, Revenant, Alois, Drakiith, Eerie V23, EgonAlter, Emile, Exsellsior, Gottlieb, Kazorm, Nathan Welch Jr., RandomPassrby, RobbyB, Tomasz Piątkowski, Triphoppenskip, and Valinrook. Thanks for your support, guys. That said, let's get started. And welcome back to Wildermyth, the Enduring War. As today, not but a single tile stands between us and the end of our current story. Though we do have a couple of other tiles that we could stand to finish cleaning up a bit, I think. Not because we really need to, but more just to buy some time and pad out the episode. Just in case another opportunity drops. You can have up to 3 per chapter. Wolfheart Brooch, plus health. Well, every single one of our A squatters has a brooch already, so I guess it doesn't really matter who that goes to. As aforementioned, augments are not carried over between campaigns. And that's pretty much it. Let's start bringing the B squad up, just in case. No sense in dragging our feet, I suppose. Let's group up on the Morthagi core. And that is the final encounter. Sometimes it's a 2-stage or a 3-stage finale, but it'll always warn you once you hit the point of no return, which I do appreciate. Gearing up. The time has come. When we stand as one force, one vision, and scrape this curse off our land for good. Blades and wits sharp. Ready yourselves, gentlemen. So Rangar got the rallying speech. Good for him. Nice to see a B squatter finally graduating to the big leagues. And time for final upgrades. Which does not include the B squad. Not a big deal, I guess, since I guess they're not going in with us on this one. But I do like to do full rounds of upgrades for everyone before they go into the legacy pool, if I can. Just because it looks nicer. It's fine, though. In this particular case, it turns out we do have at least some items that we do need to upgrade on the A squad. Though in some cases, obviously, like with the wand for Rangar here, it is somewhat redundant long-term. I mean, eventually Rangar is going to be made almost completely of stars, so at that point the wand will be completely useless since he won't even be able to wield it. But you know, what else are we going to do with all these components? It's not like we get any bonuses for excess leftover resources. I guess we could pass out secondaries for our casters. You know what? No, we're done. Let's move on. Stemming the tide. I had been prepared to pay a price for the form I took. A price of flesh and breath. But it cost more than that. It cost peace. It cost the person I loved most. And though Dawn and I never spoke again, perhaps the rest of this can still be put right. In the days when the flood of Morthagi had slowed to a trickle, Valin was able to locate openings in the cliffs. I've seen a lot of strange things in my life. But this is a whole new sort of thing. Listen, I have something important to get off my chest, in case we don't make it. I'm the one who's been stealing your jerky. Oh, Valin. I knew. With stone and iron and bone closing in. Zzz, sir. It can feel unlucky to be made of softer things. But we have strength of our own, which should not be underestimated. Clank, zzz, tink. Well, not much of a wind-up. We're right into it. And not really up against much of note here. We'll move up, kill everything that gets in our way. Oh, wow. Nice opener from Uncle, though it doesn't leave much for the rest of us to do. It is a shame you can't put most range units on Overwatch, but I guess that would make things too easy. Incoming Spectic Squad. Let's mop them up. You know, I suppose this does really kind of highlight the downsides of relying so heavily on an A squad too. As these characters get older, a lot of their stats start dropping, especially mobility. You'll notice characters like Valin really struggle to keep up with the rest of the party at this point. Though in part I think that's because, as we've established, spellcasters don't have knees, which I imagine would make it difficult. Nice. Well, that's going to make approach slightly problematic. Yeah, no significant damage on Fox, but now we've got acid all in that choke point, which we will have to pass over if we want to proceed any deeper. Butler down. Yeah, that groundskeeper's a problem. We can't reach him from here, but he's just going to keep spraying acid on us until we drop him. The approach is too narrow for us to force him closer. I guess we could delay him? Though I'm not sure that'll actually slow him down all that much. Ow. Hey, okay, okay, we can work with that. Hey, alright, yes. Thank you, Valen. We still have acid to deal with. But that does get us closer. The delay did cost Fox almost half his health. That's actually not a good trade-off. Okay. Yeah, we've got to push. This will cost us more health and armor, but less than if we just stood there waiting for a better opening. Nice. Fox is untouchable. That buys him some breathing room. And... shoot. Still can't get close enough for casting. I guess technically in retrospect the smart thing to do... Well no, because if we had fallen back it wouldn't have been able to follow us. Since it was 2 by 2, and the choke point is just 1 space wide, it would have just waited there for us to approach anyway. Oh. Regards. Clump. That better not be more. Kathunk. Oh, wait, it's you. We promised aid, after all you had done for us. And we keep promises. Retcon sends his regards. Hey. Wish you guys had shown up a couple of rounds earlier. That would have helped. But better late than never. At the very least, that gives us some ablative cover. It would be nice if these guys actually scaled a bit better with the actual progression of the campaign. But I guess the idea is that they're not necessarily supposed to be overpowered endgame units. They're just there to support your party. If they could do it themselves, obviously they wouldn't need you. And moving up. Bellhop's on point. Though it looks like we've got a door ahead, so no point in holding back. We'll just rush it. Group up, make sure we've got someone with actual human hands in front. So that we can open the door once we get there. The core. As Verlin reached the door, its eyes snapped onto him, and it groaned open by itself. Oh dear. It could be debated whether the heaving, multi-part construction before them was alive. But it wouldn't matter. Life was a quaint concept in this place. Morthagi core. Shuddering pipes and pounding gears fill your brain to bursting. Yeah, that does... Oh, lesser core. Inside its glass chambers, an infernal stew of bones and gears churns out new forms. With some token filler units. But yeah, that certainly does seem slightly less horrifying than the Enduring. Nicely done, Dawn. A mindless undead army, intent on eradicating all life on Earth just to get to its real targets. Dawn sure showed us. So based on the description we saw when we first opened the door, I imagine the cores work like stationary wardrobes. Tougher, obviously, but the basic gist should be more or less the same. Though it's possible that some of them may have actual attacks. We'll know that in just a second. Blinding would be nice, but that's just a 1 in 4 chance. Is there anything else here we can use? Not really. Oh, hey, nice. That works. The cores can attack us. Though it does look like it's either that or spawn a unit, so that actually still works out in our favor. Oh. Bellhop down. That was quick. So they're spawning nurses. I guess those are repair units? Certainly what it sounds like. Interesting. It is a bit disconcerting seeing a completely new unit type this late in the campaign. Patch me down. Coachman is out. That just leaves the nurses and the cores. Oh, really? There we go. Okay, so it turns out our guys can't move through Zerfar or his bellhops, I guess. Ooh, that's weird. I didn't notice that before. It actually looks kind of like a distorted face. Oop. Oh! Okay. Are we good? No, we're not good. I cannot continue. I must retreat. Well, thank goodness for that. He is retreating, not dead. But that got really serious really quick. Two cores down. One to go. Wait, is that thing immune to grappling? We'll just take it down. Or blind it. That works. So the nurses are just basic support units. And we are done. Valen? One last level up for the road. And you know what? We'll just upgrade archery. Still and silent. The walk back out was darker. But the ceilings didn't collapse on us. And without their maddened voice to call them, the things that were once Morthagi fell still and silent. Some were burned. Some were buried. A few were repurposed. So, what are you going to do now, then? The Yondering Lands are a bit sour on mechanical folk at the moment. It would be wise to lay low. What's another few hundred years, after all? Fair enough. See you around, Meyer. Zerfar? Oh. Gave that man a necklace. Very nice of him. The end. That was very succinct. It's a pretty stark contrast to some of the later campaigns, which do get particularly wordy. We got an Achievo, and we got 160 years of peace. Not too shabby, Raiders. Well done. The restoration of South EgonAlter brought a vitality to the fauna of Stillfields that hadn't been seen in a generation. Rangar spent many a happy night in the tavern, enthralling the ladies with tales of his exploits. And they said the history of Slimdare would never come in handy. Rev gathered as many of the company's stories as she could, and enlisted Uncle Fred to illustrate them. I guess they did have legs like that, didn't they? Nolan built a lodge that attracted like-minded hunting enthusiasts. Days were spent tracking in the woods, and nights were spent exaggerating what they had tracked in the woods. Verlin and Uncle Fred were stopped by a passing woman, a former resident of the abandoned village in Tanner Hill, where the Great One once feasted. She said their intervention, bloody though it had been, saved countless lives. Uncle had forgotten all about it, actually, and hoped to do so again. One day, Uncle awoke with a lightness in his step. I understand now. It all makes sense. He vanished for 10 years, and returned somehow unaged and full of sorrow. The first harvest from the fields around a grain of truth was a little off. No one could pinpoint exactly what was wrong, but everyone agreed that the flour tasted rusty. That's probably not great. Verlin's life ran its course in peace and honor, and in the days after his death, a shimmering egret seemed to stand vigil on the shore by the house. Sometimes a tortoise would join it. One story ends. Ah, I do love those epilogues. Oh man, and look at that. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 9. 9 new faces added to our legacy pool. Was it really that many? Yeah, I guess so. Huh. Still less than I'd like, of course. I've got like 40 or 50 more people on the waiting list, but we'll get there. We've got at least 4 more campaigns to look forward to. And promotions. We get our 2 default promotions plus 4 extra from our hoarded legacy points. Very nice. Which, generally speaking, I like to focus on our returning veterans first. Because that way they imprint their new version into the permanent legacy pool. Whereas all of the people who were just introduced in this chapter will automatically be saved in their final form in the legacy pool. So it's less vital to promote them. Though we will have some left over, so I mean we'll bump some of them up as well. The most important thing first, though, is to make sure we record the most prominent changes. Such as Drakiith here, who blew herself away. And Rangar, of course, so we can save his partial star transformation. We want to keep building on that in his future appearances. And then after that, Rhett's kind of a lower priority, though I am pleased to see him in the pool. I wasn't sure if he would actually appear here, given that we sacrificed him. He didn't really get much in the way of drastic changes. Though I suppose he did pick up that leaf wand. That's an artifact. That is worth saving. Which means our last 3 points get spread out over the newcomers. And I guess really the most logical thing to do there is to give an extra promotion to each of our core characters. I think the ones who were part of the original party for this campaign. Verlin, Valen, and Riliana. Ah, Riliana, you left us too soon. But that's the price you pay for being a warrior, I suppose. That is one of the things that I think can really cause the difficulty curve of a campaign to spike out of control, is if you end up inevitably losing your warriors early like that, but don't have suitable replacements ready to step in. Hunters and Mystics both have incredible damage potential, but of course they also tend to be comparatively frail, with a few rare exceptions. I'm not sure if Verlin really needs an extra promotion. Why not? He's earned it. And with that, our tale has officially come to an end. The Morthagi have been slain, the campaign is concluded, and our legacy pool has been updated, as our new motley mix of heroes here shows. Kaz from the original campaign, plus Valen, Drakiith, and Nolan. Nice to see Nolan squeezing in just a little more screen time, despite his lack of a starring role in Campaign 2. But, you know, just like with the first campaign, I think I'll earmark the B squatters who didn't get to do much. Reb, Nolan, Aaron, and Bunny for priority reinsertion in Campaign 3, if and when we get to that. I mean, when we get to that. I am going to do it at some point. It's just, it's got to get shuffled onto the back burner for a bit so I can touch on some other projects for a while. I do love playing Wildermyth, but, you know, at the same time I acknowledge that it doesn't bring in the same numbers that some of the other games do. So I have to kind of space out these seasons. But in the long run, I will always try to make room for passion projects like this, or the various other less watched series that I do want to get back to, like wrapping up Stygian or Van Buren. I will say, in finishing up Campaign 2, I could have sworn there was a point where we were supposed to get a choice as to whether or not to back the Enduring or destroy them, like Dawn wanted. But I guess we kind of locked ourselves in early because we sacrificed Rhett, something which I don't normally do when I play through that campaign, as aforementioned, because I don't really like to sacrifice heroes. But I guess when we did that, it locked in our choice to support the Enduring, since we had literally given one of our greatest heroes to support them. Which does make sense. That said, I'm not sure I could have ever really turned on the Enduring anyway. As weird and grotesque as they were, perhaps, I feel like they were certainly the lesser of two evils. They were an unnatural and monstrous extension of life, but they were also people just doing what they had to do to survive, and I feel like they weren't really actively hurting anyone, not like Dawn's ultimate weapon against them, which was essentially trying to starve them out by depriving them of resources, such as living creatures, I guess. Which makes sense to a certain extent, but it also really reminds you that the Morthagi rely on the presence of human and animal remains to exist. Anyway, I'm just kind of meandering and rambling at this point, trying to find an excuse not to turn the game off, so I guess we'll call it here. This is not the end, it is merely an interlude. Wildermyth will return with Season 3. I've still got the waiting list, I've still got 40 plus people and 4 campaigns to work through. So we will hit the pause button for now, but we will pick up here next time. I believe Campaign 3 is the deepest campaign. Monarchs Under the Mountain, another one revolving around the idea of trying to find immortality at any cost. That does seem to be a recurring trend in this game. See you then. Oh, and remember, although I do love playing Wildermyth, you can find out more about the game by visiting the official websites. And if you'd like to help support the channel, maybe see more series like this one, feel free to push the buttons that do the things. It does make a difference. Or you could even check out the Patreon, the YouTube memberships, or the Nexus GG page. As always, links are in the description.